is Mennonite Central Committee, also known as MCC. You might be wondering though, what is MCC all about?
For starters, MCC is old. We've been around for about 100 years. In the 1920s, MCC started in response to a refugee crisis not unlike the one today.
MCC works in three main areas: peace, relief, and development. We're in 57 countries and support over 700 projects.
Have you ever heard of private sponsorship of refugees? That was actually started here at MCC.
Helping displaced people has always been part of MCC. In 1979, MCC became the first sponsorship agreement holder with the Canadian government.
We've been running this program ever since.
And lately, it's been pretty busy. Since September of 2015, MCC Alberta alone has arranged the resettlement of over 800 Syrian refugees, plus refugees from other countries as well.
A big part of our relief work is disaster response. This past year, we responded to the ongoing Syria and Iraq crisis, the Nepal earthquake, the ongoing crisis in Ukraine, the conflict in South Sudan, the East Africa food crisis, continued response to Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, and we are still working in Haiti following the 2010 earthquake. We respond to less well-known disasters too, like the Central American and Ethiopian droughts and the conflict in Eastern Congo.
Last year, over 45,000 blankets were sent all across the world from MCC. Places like Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Ethiopia, Ukraine, and even Haiti.
MCC also sends hygiene, relief, and school kits to countries in need around the world.
We care about international development, food security, clean and accessible water projects, including building sand dams, supporting sustainable livelihoods, healthcare, and education are all part of MCC's development work. All of this is done through local partnership. Have you heard of fair trade? We started that.
We started that?
Google it, it's true.
In 1946, Edna Ruth Byler, a volunteer with MCC, traveled to Puerto Rico and was struck by the overwhelming poverty that she witnessed. She began a grassroots movement. She bought crafts from the local people in Puerto Rico, brought them back to the USA, and sold them out of the trunk of her car. Over time, she expanded her efforts to include artisans from more countries, as well as MCC set up shops called the Self-Help Crafts, which eventually turned into 10,000 villages.
Recycling.
In 1983, MCC helped initiate the first Canadian Blue Box recycling program. It all started in Kitchener, Ontario.
Have you heard of the Canadian Food Grains Bank? We started that too.
In 1974, the United Nations proposed the establishment of a World Food Bank. That idea died out, but MCC persisted, and in 1976, amid growing world food emergencies, Mennonite Central Committee created a pilot project to allow Canadian grain farmers to share their harvests with those less fortunate around the world. This project eventually led to the establishment of the Canadian Food Grains Bank.
The MCC thrift stores in Alberta alone provide over $1 million of support each year for MCC Alberta.
In 2013, MCC Alberta was the YMCA Peace Medal recipient. Peace is at the root of everything we do.
Whether it's running our Planting Peace program in Alberta, which brings together young adults from around the world to discuss how to work for peace, or projects bringing Muslims and Christians together in Edmonton, or peace clubs in Nigeria, or working for peace in Palestine, Israel. We work for a world that is at peace and unafraid.
So join us as we work in relief,
Development?
And peace.
Are we smiling? For starters, MCC is old. We've been around for about 100 years. In the 1920s, we started.
MCC also sends relief, hygiene, and lately it's been pretty busy.
Have you ever heard of private sponsorship by blah, blah, blah?
Helping displaced people has always been part of MCC. In 1979, MCC became the first sponsorship agreement holder with the Canadian government. Whenever you want,
I'm gonna
man.
say 3.
Oh, sorry. 3. Go.
Where should I be looking?
In 1983, MCC was a part of making the first ever blue box Canadian something.
Our MCC thrift shops in Alberta alone help us.
In 2013, MCC Alberta was. Oh! Are you doing peace?
So join us as we work in relief.
Sorry.
So join us as we work in relief.
Development?
And peace.